All right, so ever since my MySpace days, I've enjoyed making little like graphics with pictures of myself with words on it, like "Thanks for the ad," things like that. And so a couple weeks ago, I made a graphic of myself, took a picture of myself, and it said, "You are awesome." And so I put it on, and since then I've been putting it on people's walls, and I put it on my friend Janus's wall a couple weeks ago, and then ever since then, every time I put it on someone else's wall, he always posts like, "What, dude? I thought I was the awesome one," kind of just totally playing with me, like, "What?" And so finally, after he made that joke, 3-4 times, I decided to make a new graphic just for him, and so I put this on his wall. And then Carl Baba said, "Oh man, that thing is so ripe for Photochops." And so then he made one with Janus's picture on it. And then they just started, so then I was like, okay, that's it. Let's just put the original picture online, and then people can make whatever they want. So here are some of the incredible results of that photoshopping. This is Brandy. This was, I don't have all their names here, so we'll just have to look at how beautiful they are and appreciate them. Little artistic nude. This is Isabella made that one with the pink love. J. Bossier made that one. Thank you. The man. I don't have the name of that one right here, but isn't that adorable? That was Johnny Quest made that one. This one is Nyx. I'm uncertain if I am blowing up or inhaling from the balloon. Either way, it's hilarious. That one is Mike Martinez, I believe. That's like high quality. It looks like I'm actually holding it. Little Banksy one from Mick Monkey. This is also a Johnny Quest one because this is how pink clouds are made. This one is hard to tell the detail in this from the small screen, but this is just a super cool. This is wait, why am I drawing it? This is Leonardo made this one, and it's just, if you get a chance to look on my Facebook and see the full size, the detail is so cool. That one kind of speaks for itself. Another cool psychedelic one. I like that people make the association with me and crazy psychedelic patterns. And of course, narcissism. And then that's the original. Isn't that fun? Wasn't that cool? I thought that was so much fun. So if you want to make one, the original's on my Facebook page. If you want to hit me up, I can get you where that link is. But that was just a super kick to see the creativity that spurred on. And then it kind of got a momentum. That's all happened in the last 12 hours, I guess. Cool. Piratey just put the link to all those graphics. See, life can be funny and silly. All the more so with Photoshop. I think that's the lesson here. So, and thank you for those who were in the chat who actually made one. I see Jay Lavusier is here, and he made that cool Burning Man one. Not sure if sometimes Leonardo's here, sometimes Isabella's here. Thank you, everyone. That was a super kick. Okay, so another topic that I wanted to kind of hit on today came from a comment that I got on YouTube. Anna Stankovic, I'm not sure if that's a real name now that I read it out loud, wrote, "What are your thoughts on self-sabotage? Why we do it when we know what we are trying to destroy is a good thing? I find myself sabotaging the very thing that makes me happy, but I, for the life of me, can't seem to stop myself. How does one end this behavior? The self-sabotage. We all familiar with what self-sabotage is? I think the simplest form of it is when you see people, when they get their picture taken and you make a funny face. You know, you're with your friends and you go like, or you do something because you're afraid that if you try to look cool or good and you don't, that hurts. But if you intentionally look stupid, then there's no risk. And I think that a lot of times that's why we do the self-sabotage. It's because we're afraid of failing if we try. If you never try, then you don't risk the true pain of that failure. That's my situation. That's why, as I'm, the number one thing on my list right now is work on the TED Talk. And work on my book, next book. But those things, as long as they're undone, as long as I'm not doing them, as long as I'm doing them, half-assed, then in my mind, I can always think, well, if people don't like it, I can always think I could do better. If I fail, I can always have an excuse and go, well, yeah, but I didn't try that hard. Or when you meet someone who said, oh yeah, I took the SAT, but I partied totally hard the night before. It's like, why? Because you were afraid that if you took it and you didn't do well after trying your hardest, then you'd be afraid, you'd be embarrassed, it would be too much of a failure. I think that the way to battle self-sabotage is to process and sit with being okay with failing and maybe redefining failing. I know that for 15 years or so, write a book was my, on my list of things to do. And so, but I would never do it. Because as long as I don't write it, it could always be an incredible book. When I write a book, it's going to be so amazing. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be filled with insight and all this stuff. And it is until I write it, it could be the greatest thing ever. Once it's written, then it can be judged. Then it can not live up to my expectations. Then it can be a source of pain and failure. I can't fail if I never finish. And so that's why a couple years ago I finally said, screw it. I am just going to put together a bunch of essays, self-publish a book on Lulu, and just say that's my first book. Even if nobody ever reads it, at least I can say I did it. So the next time a voice in my head goes, hey, how's the book coming along? Yeah? Then I can go, how's it coming along? It's right here, bud. It's right here. Here's a freaking book. Here's a freaking book. Shut up. And why are you talking? And so, that, for me, it was a process of going, look, I'm going to in my head say, this is my first book. I'm okay if it's not perfect. In fact, it's not. In fact, but to show you that I didn't cross the line of that lesson and then move on. So it has been on Lulu for 2 years, and there's a thing on Lulu where once you're ready, you click a button and they'll make it available on Amazon. Once you think it's finally done, and in my head I kept going, I'm gonna edit a couple of them. I'm gonna put some new essays in. I'm gonna take some of them out. It's not good. I was afraid again to if I say it's done, then people go, oh, this is finished. You're done. You're done. Okay? It sucks. But until I say it's done, I could always say, yeah, I'm still working on it. So I think that self-sabotage it's going to the end and being okay with the failure. It's going to the photograph and going, I'm going to look how I look. It's going to that judgment and saying, wow, what relationship with a person or thing would judge me in that way? And why would I care so much about them that I would let it stop me from going this direction, down this road that I want? My experience, exceptionally easier said than done. I'm still working on it. I'm still always working on it. I can't believe how much time I'm procrastinating doing with my TED Talk stuff. And almost every big thing that's important to me, it's like I know the more I work on it, the less excuses I have, the less I can say to myself, well, I could do better. The harder I try, the more risk there is of feeling like a failure. And so for me, it often comes back to that same thing of get present, have integrity, align with love. And the 4 agreements, always do your best. And that changes in every moment. But you give the best you can in that moment. And sometimes that moment is not that much. That's okay. What did Alfred tell Batman? Master, why do we fall? So we can get back up. Plato said something like that too, so, Batman is just what I remember. And the truth is if you read autobiographies of inspiring people, whatever the thing is that you care about, maybe you want to be an entrepreneur, or you want to be an inventor, or you want to be an athlete, or you want to be whatever it is that is your like, wow, that is someone that I admire. They were okay with failure. Success is the process of failing repeatedly. Nobody that is awesome gets so by just being afraid of finishing something or trying something or risking something. Again, so much easier said than done. But it's a tough thing where in our culture right now, we're so winner-based that we almost are kind of training people to be failure phobic. I think a really healthy thing to do in schools and as a socializing and thing for kids is making sure that they fail a lot. I remember a writing class where the assignment was to get a rejection letter. The teacher wanted us to go, look, every good writer has a stack of rejection letters. So let's get our first one. Submit something to a magazine, get that incredibly cold, painful letter that says, we don't accept submissions, or we read this and this is not right for us, or I can't believe you had the gall. And that's sometimes the fear too, is like you think that somebody would like go, oh my gosh, you think that is worth... The fear of the reaction is always worse. The fear of the judgment. The fear of that woman saying, no way, I'm not going to dance with you. That's never happened to me. But I have thought that might happen 1,000 times that I stayed in the corner and didn't dance. So it's the learning to fail. Feeling pride in the failures, feeling pride in the bruises, and knowing that a failure is an accomplishment. A failure is a lesson. And we're not here to win, we're here to learn. Hopefully that helps, Anna. I hope that your next picture is one with an honest, sincere smile. You have failure down cold. There you go. That's the kind of, woo, there we go. Thank you for stepping up, stepping into that, owning it. I've been enjoying listening to Jacob Glass just released his new book. Starve a Bully, Feed a Champion. See, I got multiple copies. And so it's been interesting hearing him talk about the process of writing a book. And the thing that he keeps going back to is he talks about getting caught in the trap of the perception, and what this can mean for him in the career, and all these things, and having to keep going back to, wait, no, I'm writing this for me. I'm writing this because I want to write it. The rest will fall into place as it should be. The rest is in God's hands. And he's been an inspiring person just from that perspective of not letting ambition or pride or any of the ego voices as they come in, hearing them and going, no, you're not the voice I really want to listen to. You're not the voice that is divine. You are my ego voice that is trying to sabotage my experience of life, my joy. It's that fear of what could, that attachment to what I think needs to happen, that robs me of the true experience of the present moment. And it's only in that true experience of the present moment, the true expression of the current present moment, that miracles can happen, that the flow can guide us and direct us. But that's a practice. On a side note of just like really cool things, I just got Jacob's book, and in the acknowledgments, there's a lot of them. There's 2 pages of acknowledgments, but smashed in there between Kenny Loggins and Olivia Newton-John is John Halcyon Stin. That was a pretty special moment when I saw that. It is just almost... Danger Bunny, I'm so glad I saw you in the dream world. I've been remembering more and more of my dreams. You didn't happen to find a pair of shoes, did you? I'm misplacing everything in the dream world. Hopefully they'll go to good places. Is there any other last minute thoughts or questions, or anyone want to give a shout out to someone that they've lost recently and wish them, honor the memory of the ripples that they have sent into your world? Love to Bronze Girl. Love to Isaac Brisadio. Bronco Girl. Love to Rock. Love to anyone who shared their light and love with us, and in doing so live eternally in the ripples that we experience, that we share. I feel really blessed that the experience of going through my grandpa's death was such a powerful lesson in terms of what death can be, and how not tragic it has to be. I've shared this before, but my grandpa used to say that... Actually, there's like a Facebook like one of those quote things that's been going around. It says, "What if the light at the end of the tunnel is actually the opening of another vagina that we're being pushed out of?" And that's a funny way of saying what my grandpa used to always say. He would say that if you could interview a fetus and say, hey, do you want to come out into the world? It's there with all its needs met. It's warm. It's got its food. It's got everything it needs in it. And it would say, hell no. That sounds... I have no idea. Don't, please. This is awesome. I love this life. And it's a scary, jarring experience to be pushed into the next. But I think all of us are glad that we went through that. And so it's the same kind of ignorance that we would have to make any choice about our fear of the next transition. We just have no way of knowing what we are birthed into. A common theme this weekend with a lot of my friends has been butterflies. If you want to go to lifestudent.com, I posted an essay about butterflies that Life Shadows is in the chat room right now. She wrote a story about her weekend experience with butterflies that is just so beautiful. And butterflies are a really incredible metaphor for so much. Because, a butterfly does not evolve and grow into its things. A butterfly is a caterpillar in the process of chrysalis, totally disintegrates into mush before it becomes a butterfly. And you know that if you actually try to help a butterfly out and peel away its cocoon, it will not survive, because it needs that struggle. It needs the whole process of getting itself out to finish all of the process that it needs to then be available to thrive in this next life. My grandpa used to call his room his cocoon. With a kind of excitement. I think there was some fear too, of course, but I think he was excited that the great men in history that he followed and trusted had no fear of death. And so even though he may, as in his frail times may have, he had faith that this when he leaves this cocoon, it would be something else that would be definitely worth the wait. Butterflies have been a powerful symbol all over the place. Oh, thank you for the link, Piety. Creeping Jenny, that actually is, I didn't make up that quote. I saw that on it's a Facebook kind of graphic that I've seen reposted. But it actually resonates very strongly with my beliefs. I actually think that, in the sense that I believe that we are here as human consciousness as a way to learn and grow our souls, our spirits, and so all of these relationships are a process of growing. I think that this is, in a lot of ways, I think that the embryo is connected via the umbilical cord to the mother. Then the next dimensional experience is conscious in this physical, worldly realm. And I think that our umbilical cord to this realm is matter. We require matter. We require food and oxygen in the same way that a baby requires that connection. And I think that our next, as we are born through that next light, is to a non-physical experience or awareness or realm. And for all I know, everything nature has taught me is that it's fractal and it will just keep going. And who knows where these tunnels lead to. But there's nothing in nature that makes me think that it stops. All right. It is 2:00. We've had silly photoshops. We've had some tears. We've had an extension of our holy relationship. Hopefully the little reminders of what holy versus special is can help you traverse and navigate your relationships and make them deeper tools for your growth and allow you to connect deeper with the people that you love in your life and the things in your life. So thank you for being here, for sharing this moment, for being a part of this calibration. We'll be back in just 4 hours for a happy hour. Who knows what we'll talk about? Maybe butterflies. So I have a fantastic day. It's beautiful here. Maybe I should go outside. Wasn't that the theme of last week's? Oh, side note. So, last week I did the Hug Nation was about getting offline. As if some sort of, like, the script writer of my life is pretty on tip. Because so we did the show about getting offline more. Then the cable went down for 3 days. So I couldn't do work here. So then I was on my laptop. And then I spilled wine on my keyboard. So I couldn't use my laptop while that dried out. So I was like, be careful what you ask for. It's kind of like, if you praying, universe, please grant me patience. You don't go, diddling, there, you're patient. Instead, you get people around who just drive you crazy so you can practice it. So the universe is like, oh, you want to get offline? We'll push you. Of course, I still didn't do that great, but it's a practice. So see you tonight or later online. Oh. Did everyone have 5 more minutes or 4 more minutes? Because I'll read the responses to the Hug Nation. I'll read them tonight. The question of the day on the Facebook Hug Nation page is, what is a relationship that you've learned from? Let me just say exactly how I said it. What relationship has taught you the most? And actually it doesn't have to be the most. Just any relationship that has taught you something. A relationship with a person, a family member, a job. But, can you think of a relationship that you've had that has been holy in that it has given you an opportunity to learn about yourself? And then what did you learn? So share that on the Facebook page, and we will read those tonight during happy hour. Thank you. I am so honored to share this path in a holy way with you. I love you.